Hello and welcome to another We Outside edition of It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. Today, I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. It is 100 plus degrees out here in Dallas, Texas. So, this is going to be an in and out video. It's not going to last long. Um, the first topic that I want to make sure that I talk about is the Moses Atuma versus Dillian White fight. Now, this, of course, is a fight of two British heavyweights. Now, Moses Atuma is a southpaw who's actually he. I wouldn't just say that he's a power puncher. He's a boxer puncher. Throws very fluid combinations from the southpaw stance. His last victim was knocked out by a very beautiful right hook, left uppercut combination, and he just flattened the guy. Um, Now, Dillian White, of course, is a battle tested veteran, and in this case, he is going to test Moses Atuma. Now, having said that, Dillian White, as we all know, has been a knockout victim himself. So, this is going to gauge how good Moses Atuma supposedly is. Now, having said that, since Atuma is a southpaw, that presents several problems for orthodox fighters. The main one of which is establishing a good jab as an orthodox fighter. So if you're an orthodox fighter, of course your left hand being your lead hand and then your right hand being your power hand, then you want to make sure that you're actually establishing your lead foot outside of their lead foot, and then you're able to establish your jab and then being able to utilize that. And then once you're able to utilize that, you can come in with a hook, and then you can use your right hand for an uppercut. You could use your straight right, because that's a southpaw's kryptonite, to try to hurt or intimidate your opponent. Now, early on, learning boxing, southpaws were very, very troublesome, because with them, you basically feel like you're having to fight backwards. Traditionally, you're taught to establish your jab, boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's against an orthodox fighter. That's against another orthodox fighter. With a southpaw, again, what you have to do is take a different angle. I'm just imagining my guy right here. So I have my my lead foot outside of his foot. And then basically, since I may not have the appropriate angle for a jab, I might have to feint the jab, come in, hook, and then straight right hand. That's a method to actually inundate or hurt a southpaw. So I do enjoy I do enjoy sparring southpaws, because I can hit them with my right hand, and the straight right is a favorite punch of mine. So I actually love being able to get a southpaw, use the hook, and then hit them with that, yeah, and then hit them with the straight right. You know, I'll do it again in slow motion. Okay, you're just timing, slip, come around with the hook, and come around with that straight right. Um, but I think if Dillian White is able to utilize that, and I think that to combat the uppercut, he's being coached by Buddy McGirt. Buddy McGirt, of course, is a prominent fighter from what I remember, the 80s and 90s. I think he was a junior welterweight and a welterweight fighter in his prime. And what he teaches is the old cross defense that Joe Frazier, I think Ken Norton used it at one point in time as well, and I think George Foreman was prominent for using it too. So basically, you cross your arms over, and then you basically just move in that way. It's utilized to block uppercuts. Sometimes if you're able to be skillful enough, you can use it to block hooks. And then you can push down body shots as well with it. So it does serve a purpose. But if you're a smart fighter, then the way to beat that cross block is just to kind of set it up. You jab at the, let me go faster than that. You jab at the guard, boom, boom. Just jab at that guard, boom, boom. And then on this third one, I'm gonna come down with a straight right. So see, I'm just setting it up, boom, boom, boom. I'm just setting it up to just kind of lull you to sleep with, okay, all right, he's just jabbing into the guard, and then I'm gonna drop down, change levels, and then come in. Now, obviously, Moses Atuma could utilize that for himself as well in the southpaw stance. So, of course, you're gonna keep jabbing at that guard, boom, boom, and then boom. So, or there are some cases where you could feint the jab, hook, and then uppercut to the body. Not so much try to dig into the chin, but you can dig with a body shot because the guard's right here. And with that particular guard, your vision is blocked. And the best punches for blocked vision are hooks. So in the south, getting back in the southpaw stance, if someone in the orthodox stance is coming like this to block, then basically, I'm actually just gonna keep setting up. I'm just gonna keep setting up the jab just to kind of lull it to sleep. Hit the guard, hit the guard, hit the guard. Boom, boom, boom. And then I'm just gonna hopefully hit him in the solar plexus. And then I can wrap back around to the body. And then, eventually, if they bring their elbows down, headshot. So those items, and I'm still in the southpaw stance, so it's not the camera. Okay, switching back to orthodox. The way, again, to beat a good southpaw, or any southpaw for that particular matter, is always going to be the straight right hand, but you have to utilize it properly. So if Dillian Whyte is able to utilize his straight right properly, that could make the difference between him actually getting knocked out and losing to him actually winning the fight, maybe via decision. I don't see Dillian Whyte actually knocking out Moses Atuma. Stranger things have actually happened. But if Dillian Whyte is going to win, I think it's probably going to be by a majority or unanimous decision. And he would have to actually put on a very convincing performance in order to do that. I think Moses Atuma is actually favored like almost 22-1 or something like that. It's way out there. So, this is actually a good test or barometer for Moses Atuma, and I can't wait to actually find out what happens this coming Saturday. The fight is actually going to be on DAZN, so y'all check that out. Now, briefly about my Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, we have a game Saturday as well against Tampa Bay. It is a home game. It's a preseason game. We have several projected starters that are not playing. I don't think Aaron Rodgers will be playing this one either. I don't think DK Metcalf is playing either. I think Jaylen Warren will be in. Jaylen Warren is our starting running back. So I think that he may actually wind up playing. I think that the majority of our offensive line is probably going to wind up playing. I'll have to see about Isaac Seumalo. Isaac Seumalo is our left guard, so we'll have to see about that and see if he's actually playing. I think I don't think that Jonnu's playing. Pat may play. Pat Fryermuth may play. Those are our two tight ends. And then, yeah, I think that portion, the majority of the offense may wind up playing this one. The majority of the defense is not. I still think that Patrick Queen may be out. Cam Hayward, who's having a contract dispute, will obviously be out. TJ Watt would obviously be out. Due to us investing that much money into him, we do not want to risk him injuring himself until the regular season. So he's probably not going to be playing preseason at all. TJ Watt. And then, surprisingly, one of our starting corners, Joey Porter Jr., will be out in action, guarding the Buccaneers wide receivers in Mike Evans and, what's Abuka's first name? I think it's Emeka Egbuka, the wide receiver from Ohio State who got drafted by the Buccaneers this year. So I look for Joey Porter Jr. to have a pretty good game. And I also look for, my goodness, Peyton Wilson. I actually look for, and that's our inside linebacker. I would actually look for him to actually have a good game, being the green dot again. Green dot just basically means that you're the defensive captain on the field. You call the defensive plays to the rest of the huddle and make sure that everybody is properly lined up and is ready to go by the time the ball snaps. So I look forward to seeing people do. In preseason, it's an evaluation. Let me just back up. Preseason is an evaluation period. I don't really look for big plays or dazzling feats or anything like that. What you look for in preseason is to see if someone can effectively do their job. And what that basically is if you're assigned to a certain gap, if you're a defender, like if you're an inside linebacker, for instance, and you're assigned to the B gap because the defensive tackle is lined up in the A gap and B gap are like inside the lineman, basically, the center and then the guard. So if you're lined up in B gap and B gap is your assignment, we don't need you trying to be a hero and line up in the B gap, but you see that the play may be shifting over to the A, so you want to shoot in there real fast. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Just do what you're supposed to do, and then you can probably make plays just based off of that. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for guys to make sure that they're on their job and that they do their job effectively. No hero stuff. Yes, there are guys that are on the bubble that are trying to make a big impression, but I think for the most part, as long as you are able to effectively do your job, you'll have a spot somewhere, even if it's not on the team that you're with at the current moment. So hopefully the guys keep that in mind. Just do your job and do it well, and I think that things will actually work out. But that's just me being optimistic. I've not played in the NFL before, so, who knows? Could be completely different. Anyway, I look forward to seeing both those particular sporting events this weekend. And shouts out to my LDBC family. I hate that I missed Vegas last weekend, man. The content that I was hearing and then seeing, oh man, it would have been wonderful for me to be able to be a part of that. I hate that I wasn't, but at the same time, I'm already making provisions to try to get to New York next year. If I don't do anything but a turnaround trip, which just basically means I arrive Saturday morning and have to leave late Saturday night or early Sunday morning, then I'm going to do that just to be there. And as far as my actual bloodline family goes, I'm very excited, or even more excited about that, because we have an opportunity to host a family reunion with my siblings, all my dad's kids. So I'm very excited about those events in the summer. So, I can't wait to kind of build and then just work to that. And then I want to give some shout outs to my brothers. Shout out to Jared O11 Green, who hosts the Southern Baller Show. That comes on 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Sundays on YouTube. He also has a very good show called The Black Man's Perspective. That comes on Saturdays, 10:30 a.m., also on YouTube. My brother, Coach 67 Sports TV, the best Southern University content creator on the face of this planet, has YouTube content almost every day. Y'all subscribe and like and hit the notification bells for content, because you never know when he'll drop it. And then, of course, our founder, 78 Sports TV, who's founded the LDBC, he has content. His main show usually comes on 10 a.m. weekdays and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time weekdays on YouTube as well. And then y'all, please check out my brother, I Am Trill Will. He has content throughout the week based off political conversations for the majority of it. He is very insightful and very passionate. Also, check out my brother, Junior the Truth. Junior the Truth has self-mastery content that is second to none. We all, including myself, especially me, have to take a good look in the mirror and evaluate who we actually are and who we actually need to be. It's a long, tough road for me as far as self-evaluation, and then picking myself up and then making sure that I do what I'm supposed to do consistently. I do not hide from that. And if you want to become a better person, the self-mastery content is definitely going to help you get on your way to doing that. Well, that is my time. I am Brent Fox, and this is It's Just Me.